Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, so the wait for the final season of Stranger Things, it's been pretty intense, right? And that massive cliffhanger from Volume 1 left all of us with some huge questions.
Well, you're in luck. The show's creators, the Duffer Brothers, have actually started talking, and they've dropped some major hints about what's coming next.
So we've gone through all of their latest interviews and pulled out the 5 biggest secrets, the biggest revelations about where this whole story is headed. You ready? Let's get into it. Alright, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll break down Will's crazy new powers. Then, we'll talk about the shocking return of a character you probably thought you'd never see again. We're also going to reveal who the new heart of the show is, figure out where Max is actually hiding, and finally tackle the biggest question of all, who is the real final boss? Okay, first up, Will Byers. That incredible moment where he finally fought back, wow. So, does this mean he has powers just like Eleven? Well, the answer is no, actually. And the difference between them is absolutely crucial to where this is all going. So here's the key difference. Eleven's power, that comes from inside her, it's innate. But Will, he's tapping into something else entirely. He's basically hijacking Vecna's own connection to the Hive mind. And you know, the Hive mind is that creepy shared consciousness of all the creatures from the Upside Down. This means his power only works on stuff from that dimension, and he has to be close by. It's kind of the ultimate payoff for his deep, super traumatic connection to the Upside Down, right?
And here's the perfect example of that limitation. As Matt Duffer said, he can't open a door because the door is not part of the Hive mind. It just shows you how specific it is. The Duffers basically confirmed he only has this ability because he was hooked into that Hive mind way back in Season 2. If that hadn't happened, none of this would be possible.
All right, let's move on to something that I think shocked just about everyone. The return of Kali. 8. From what is probably the most controversial episode of the entire series. So the big question is, why bring her back now?
Okay, let's connect the dots here. Back in Season 2, she was kind of a loose end, right? The whole lost sister thing. But now, in Season 5, we find out she's been captured. And get this, she's being used as a captive power source for these military satellites, this kryptonite tech that's designed to incapacitate Eleven. Insane.
And see, this is what's so cool about it. It wasn't just for shock value. The creators felt like they couldn't just drop that storyline. They wanted everything to connect, and bringing her back was the key to helping wrap up Eleven's entire arc. It just goes to show you every single piece of this puzzle really does matter in the end.
Okay, secret number 3, and this one is a big one. It's all about the youngest Wheeler, Holly. Yeah, she's not just the cute kid in the background anymore. She is now a major protagonist. So, the creators said they wanted to bring the whole show full circle. They wanted to echo a lot of what happened way back in Season 1. And that's where Holly comes in. This was actually a newer idea they had for Season 5. They wanted to recapture that missing kid feeling from the very beginning, and making Holly the focus of the new abductions was the breakthrough that made the whole final season just click into place. I gotta say, I did not see this one coming, but it makes so much sense. Alright, speaking of characters in serious danger, let's talk about Max. We all know she's in a coma, but where is her mind? Where's her consciousness? Well, the Duffers have finally explained that bizarre, desert-like world where she and Holly are trapped. So this place isn't just some random wasteland, it's literally Vecna's Mindscape. And Holly, being Holly, has given it a nickname, Kamazats. This is a reference to the book A Wrinkle in Time, where Kamazats is this dark planet controlled by a single, evil, disembodied force called IT. I mean, how perfect is that? It's exactly what they're facing.
So let's break down what this means for Max. She's trapped inside Vecna's memories. But she's not just hiding out anywhere. She's found a sanctuary, a safe place in these caves from the first Shadow play. Why there? Because these caves are tied to Henry Creel's most traumatic memories, the place where he first got his powers. And Vecna is afraid to go into those specific memories. This makes her a catalyst for whatever's coming next. She's basically weaponizing his own trauma against him. It's genius.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe the biggest secret of all. This is the question that goes all the way back to the beginning. Who is really in charge here? Is it Vecna, or is it that giant spider-like entity he supposedly shaped, the Mind Flayer?
Now back in Season 4, it really looked like Henry Creel. Vecna was the one who shaped the Mind Flayer from all those particles. It looked like he was the master. But here's the twist. The prequel play, The First Shadow, dropped some massive clues that maybe, just maybe, the Mind Flayer was the original evil, and it was the one that seduced Henry in the first place. Was he the creator, or just its first vessel?
And when the Duffers were asked about this directly, point blank, they gave the ultimate tease. They basically said, you're asking a question that will be answered in the final episode. So yeah, what you need to take away from this is that the true identity of the final villain is still a complete mystery. It's all coming down to the wire.
So, all of these revelations are setting the stage for an absolutely epic finale. We know Vecna's plan, we know Will can now puppeteer parts of the Hive Mind, but we still don't know who the real big bad is. And that leaves us with one last, huge thought to chew on before the end. With all these pieces finally on the board, who is going to be the one to land the final blow?